man, oh man. Alright, fuck it. We'll go with runes first. Alright, so I guess we'll start with, can you guys see how well can you guys see, like, what I'm typing on the notepad? Resolve keystones. Is it, like, clear, or do I need to make it bigger? I, like, can't really tell. I could make it bigger. It wouldn't matter. Like, it wouldn't be hard. That doesn't really that just makes it longer. I guess I can make the font bigger, I guess. I don't really need a small font. I can just go big. Maybe that's too big. Can't see it in small window, full screen, perfect. I think this is big enough. I think this is fine. Now that it's bigger. Alright. So Grasp of the Undying, every 4 seconds in combat, your next basic attack on a champion will deal bonus measure damage equal to 4% of your max health, heal you for 2%, and permanently increase your health by 5. So just basic, like, Grasp, except it's giving you health. Ranged champions damage and healing are halved, they gain 2 in health. Okay, so ranged champions don't use Grasp. After Shock, after immobilizing an enemy champion, increase your armor 20 plus 30%, so Fearless. Then Explode damage. Oh, that's a pretty decent burst, honestly. 20-second cooldown. So probably once a fight, maybe 2 in a drawn out fight. Immobilizing. So I guess it doesn't have to be a hard CC. It can just be like a snare. I guess you can't use slows don't count, but snares count, I guess. Definitely not Braum. Guard allies within 175 units target with spells while guarding. If you or the ally take damage, both you gain a shield and activate haste for 1.5 seconds. Guard allies within 175 with a spell for 2.5 seconds. But this is like a passive. Like I can't choose when to use this. So it seems like if you just get like randomly hit with like one spell in lane, it just like pops, and then it's like it might not even like do anything. Because if they just like hit you with like Soraka Q in lane or something, they just walk away from you. I mean, I guess you have movement speed to run at them, but you don't always want to run at them at all times. This seems really awkward. Unless I'm reading this wrong. With target with spells. Yeah, I don't know about this one. I don't really know about this one. So I think Grasp is still probably the best. And then After Shock looks interesting. And then this Guardian thing, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to see it in play, but I don't think Guardian's very good. It seems kind of shitty. So Resolve Strength. So let me just like, how do I like font? How about I just like underline this shit? How do I underline stuff? Am I retarded? Alright, whatever. I'll just make these caps and I'll make all these lowercase. Alright. After casting a summoner spell, gain 15% tenacity and slow resistance for 10 seconds. Gain 10% tenacity and slow resistance for each spell on cooldown. Interesting. Falcon Punch. Charge up a powerful attack against the tower over 4 seconds or within 600 range. The charge attack deals 125 plus bonus. Okay. Font of Life. Impairing the movement of an enemy champion marks them for 4 seconds. Okay, so these are interesting. Ooh. They all seem to be useful in their own way. Let's see. They're all not bad, honestly. So they're all kind of situational though. So I think Unflinching is probably going to be the most useful over time, especially if you're like a top laner. You just get free tenacity whenever you don't have TP up. So it's easier for you to escape ganks when your TP's down. And like when your TP's down and you get ganks, like not dying is super important. So I think a lot of like top laners who are aggressive in lane will want this. This demolish thing is like, I think it'd probably be second, just because it seems pretty good for split pushers. The charge up doesn't seem to have to be a channel, so you can just be hitting the turret for 4 seconds and suddenly you nuke it. So like that seems to be really good for splitters. And Font of Life, it's just like it's just Stoneborn Pact, and Stoneborn Pact really isn't that good. Half the time you got it was just for Ardent, or just because no one else, you didn't have anything better. So that's why I feel like that one's the least useful. So let's go Resistance. Iron Skin, gain 5 armor. Heal effects from consumables, heals for 20 plus health, and shields increase your armor by 5% for 3 seconds. Interesting. That's a Malphite thing. That's definitely a Malphite thing. Mirror Shell. Okay, this is just like the armor, the MR version. After 10 minutes, gain 8 and increase your ship by 5%. Okay, so this is, I can't really tier these. I'll probably say Iron Skin's the best, just because you start out with the least armor. And then this is, I guess I just put Conditioning. And then, actually, I don't know, 5% sucks. I'm gonna do Mirror Show and then Conditioning. So the thing about Conditioning is it won't be bad in like competitive play, I'd feel, because in competitive play, usually you're not having to fight in the first 10 minutes, but in solo queue, where you probably have to fight a lot in the first 10 minutes, and it doesn't do like anything for you in the first 10 minutes, it's probably just not worth it. This one's pretty simple though. I don't think these are too good. And then Vitality. So permanently gain 0.2% maximum health for every 8 monsters or enemy minions that die near you. Okay. That's not very good. Revitalize heals. Okay, that's okay. Oh, so you can put, oh, so your heals, okay, so this is a support thing. They're stronger and they're additional below. Okay. Second wind. After taking damage from an enemy champion, heal for 4% of your mixing health plus 6. Okay, so this one's a pretty easy one. Revitalize. If these apply to like self shields too, Revitalize is really solid. I'd probably put Second Wind next. It heals you too slow to be like broken, I think, because it's over 10 seconds, and I'm assuming that's the cooldown of it. It seems like a super Dorn shield in lane though, so it might actually be better than Revitalize. It's probably like more situational though, but this seems really good. It seems like like another Dorn shield, so you could take it in really tough lanes, and then overgrowth. This shit's worthless. Yeah, they learned from Strength of the Ages. They're not repeating that. So Resolve as a whole seems okay. Hold on, let me check one more time how this shit works. So, oh, so you pick, oh, so you, for this you pick one of each, but for your secondary you just pick any of the, okay. Okay, but for your secondary one, you pick any of the 3. Okay, so that's interesting. Because the resistance one seems kind of worthless, so going primary on this might not be too good, based on what that's telling me. But okay, so that's Resolve. Domination. So I'll just do Resolve. Oh, I don't want to show you guys. Alright, I don't want to show you guys my documents every time. That's going to be annoying. Alright, so Domination. Typing's hard. Okay, Domination Keystones. 1, 2, 3. Alright. Electrocute. Hitting a champion with 3 separate basic bonus adaptive damage. So it's like Super Thunderlords. Predator. Enchant your boots with the activate Predator. Predator to channel 1.5 seconds out of combat to gain 45 movement speed. Okay, so we're all fiddlesticks now. For 15 seconds. That's a lot of movement speed. Damaging attacks or abilities end this effect. So it's like fiddlesticks plus... Let's just Rengar ult without the stealth, I guess. And the channel time. Damaging attacks end this effect. Dealing. Oh, so you do damage, bonus damage when you come out. 180 seconds to 120 seconds. Starts the game on cooldown. Goes to cooldown if interrupted while channeling. Ooh. Dark Harvest. Champions, large minions, and large monsters drop Soul Essence. Collect souls to become Soul Charged. Your next attack comes soul charged to deal adaptive damage. Lasts 20 seconds, increased to 300 seconds after collecting 150 soul essence. Champion 6. Interesting. Bonus damage 40 to 80 plus soul essence collected. So 1 per essence. Monsters are 2, minions are 4, champions are 6. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so I think probably the best is gonna end up being so this one's hard. Huh. So there's no cooldown on Dark Harvest, so you can get it. So you can get Harvest over and over. The only cooldown is actually getting the souls, but they last 20 seconds. 50 to 220, 40 to 80. Bonus AD, 0.2 AP. Alright, so I still think Electrocute's probably the best. I think Predator comes second. It's very situational. Situationally first. First. Okay, and then Dark Harvest. So I'm actually not sure about this at all. Dark Harvest doesn't look too bad, but I think Electrocute is just the most consistent. They don't tell me the cooldown of Electrocute though. If Electrocute has no cooldown, the thing's broken. But I'm assuming it has like the same cooldown as old Thunderlords, which just makes it standard. It just seems to be more consistent because you don't get Dark Harvest until cannon minions actually start spawning. And it doesn't look that useful for junglers until you have 150 soul essence, because 20 seconds to get to a camp kill into a gank doesn't really work. Whereas Thunderlords is always going to be there. And Predator is just really good on some champions and then probably worthless on others. But like, I don't know. It seems solid. So, mouse. Cheap Shot. Damaging champions with impaired movement or actions deals 20 to 30 bonus true damage. Cooldown 4 seconds, activates on damage occurring after the impairment. Okay. Taste of Blood. Heal when you damage an enemy champion. I'm assuming that works on spells and autos. This needs a cooldown if it doesn't have one. Sudden Impact. Stealth or using a dash, leap, blink, or teleport, dealing any damage to your champion grants you 10. Ooh. Okay, these are interesting. So this one's pretty simple. So Sudden Impact is really good. Taste of Blood is good for laning, and Cheap Shot seems pretty worthless. Because it's 30 damage with the 4 second cooldown. So you get it you get 30 damage when trying to kill someone, and maybe you get it twice. But it has to be impaired. So not only do you have to impair someone, then hit them, then wait 4 seconds, you have to impair them and then hit them again. And it does 12 damage early on, which is nothing. Sudden Impact is really good. That's 10 lethality and it doesn't need a scale. It's just 10 lethality from level 1. That's pretty nuts. Granted, it's got a harder abuse trigger. It's harder to trigger than Cheap Shot, but it's still way better. And Taste of Blood, I need to know the cooldown, but that seems really broken in lane. It's like Super Feast. So yeah, for champions, you just get random tags in lane against someone else. So let's say Azir fucking Qs you and he just heals, and then he assuming there's no cooldown, he Q autos you, and then he just suddenly he's healed 40 HP. It's the fuck, dude. That seems really AIDS. So assuming there's no cooldown, this thing is really good as well. Sudden Impact's really good too. Tracking. Zombie ward visible lasts for 180 seconds. Don't count towards your ward limit. After killing a ward, when your wards expire, they reanimate as zombie wards. Okay. Ghost Poro. Enter a brush to summon a Poro after a brief channel. The Poro will stay behind to give you vision until you summon a new one. They scare it away, put it. Poro channel is interrupted if you enter combat with a champion. Collect eyeballs for champion and ward takedowns. Gain an adaptive. These all suck. So zombie ward is the best. Oh god, these suck. Jesus Christ. Probably Ghost Poro. And then Eyeball Collection. Eyeball Collection seems really worthless. Because if the enemy team doesn't ward, then you only get it off kills. And that's not even 1 AD per kill. That shit sucks. Zombie Ward is just really nice. Gives you a lot of permanent vision, or not permanent vision, gives you a lot of vision control. And Ghost Ward is, Ghost Poro gives you vision on one thing, like forever, which is nice, I guess. So like you keep it in like a river bush, and then the second it pops, then you just get the fuck out. It's just like a permanent ward for you until someone actually walks in. Ravenous Hunter. I need to know the vision range. Of Ghost Poro though. The fact that it has a channel time kind of sucks. Ravenous Hunter. Heal for a percentage of the damage dealt by your abilities. Okay. Okay. So this goes up to 15%. That's pretty nutty. Mono a mono. Okay. Not bad. 10% active item CDR plus additional 6% per bounty hunter stack. Or a bounty hunter stack, okay. And alright, well this one's pretty simple in my opinion. Ravenous Hunter. These two both kind of suck. But probably Ingenious Hunter. And Relentless Hunter. Okay, so what you need to take into account for these is that the only people who can actually get these quickly are the jungler and sometimes the mid laner. If you're a support, you're never getting these. If you're an AD carry, it's highly unlikely you're getting more than 2 stacks until late game. And basically, you want to look for the ones that are immediately useful. 10% active item CDR, counting your trinket is not bad, but you don't get active items. Some champions don't even get active items. So that rules out for that. 8 combat movement speed is really not that much. 8 per stack, like even like fully stacked, this shit isn't even like a Cloud Drake really. Or it's like I can't do math. I think it's 48 if I'm not retarded. So it's still worse than Cloud Drake. And then assuming they're each multiplicative, then it's even less. And then this is it gives you 2.5% like flat to start the game, which is really nice. And then I just feel like this is probably like the most useful because you can probably stack it with like Death's Dance or something, and it's just like nutty. Stack it with like Death's Dance and Red Pot, and then suddenly you're just like unkillable. But yeah, this one seems the best. Zombie Ward. If it doesn't die, if the ward isn't killed but it times out, then yes, it doubles your ward time. Okay, so interesting tree. Doesn't seem too well balanced, but we'll see. Predator is very interesting to me. There's some really interesting ones to me. Domination. Preseason. Press the attack. Okay, basic attack, sustained damage. So 18. Okay, so I didn't look at these. Okay, that's whatever. 11 AD, 130 health, and 18% attack speed. Okay, that's so. If you're a jungler, you'll probably want this. Like a lot of junglers are gonna want this for the attack speed. So this one's kind of a more like one for like any carries, and then like probably like a secondary for most like bruisers I'd see. And then this one's like for tanks and bruisers, and then this one seems to be might have to be for junglers, but I think probably geared towards AD carries. So let's see. Precision key. Press the attack. Hitting an enemy champion with 3 consecutive basic attacks deals bonus damage based on level and makes them vulnerable, increasing damage. Okay, from all sources. Okay. Tempo. 1.5 seconds after damaging a champion, gain a shit ton of attack speed for 3 seconds. Attacking a champion extends the effect to 6 seconds. Oh god. Jesus. 10-second cooldown, but oh god, exceed the attack speed limit. Jesus. Fleet footwork. 60% effective when used. So this is Warlords. Okay. This is all situational. Ooh, so I'll probably do lethal tempo because it's just unparalleled. Like breaking the attack speed cap, like all these Rage Blade 80 carries just fucking nutted. Damn. I'll probably do Fleet Footwork, but that doesn't mean press the attack is bad. So here's my reasoning behind this. Fleet Footwork is the only one that gets you out of the lane. Press the attack and lethal tempo are very good at fighting, but they don't actually help you get out of lane. And while these are all nice, like getting out of lane is still probably really important. Because like if you can't get out of lane, then you can't really abuse these two. And yeah, just like having the heal so you can forego lifesteal easier, and the movement speed to kite, and the heal for lane sustain. Probably just the most consistent out of these three. It's definitely the safest. But these seem not bad. I think press the attack is just overshadowed by lethal tempo. Bonus damage is always nice. But I don't know, breaking the attack speed cap is pretty nutty, and having a huge attack speed, this basically gives everyone a free attack speed steroid. And it's a long steroid too. Like it's just another spell. So champions who already have steroids are just gonna be like forever roided up, which is pretty nutty. Heroism. Overheal. Is that a typo? Excess healing becomes a shield up to 10% of your total health, so plus 10. Shield is built up from 30% excess self-healing or 300% from healing from allies. So really good with lifesteal, I guess. Triumph. Takes downs, restore 15%, grant additional 25 gold. Takedowns is kills and assists. Okay. Presence of Mind. For 5 seconds after gaining a level or takedown, any mana is fully restored. Huh. These are all not bad. I think Overheal is probably the most worthless. But if that stacks with like Relic, well, I guess Relic feels pretty dead too. But dude, imagine this shit with Targons and Bloodthirster. You have fucking 3k HP 80 carries. So I'm probably gonna be a bit. This is probably my most controversial yet. I'll just fuck it. Whatever, Riot Games. So Triumph, 15% is a lot. An extra 25 gold, that shit can add up if you're getting a bunch, even if you're only getting assists. So like, it'll make like getting assists in lane not feel as bad. And 15% is a lot. That's like 3 dangerous games. It just doesn't give you mana. And then Presence of Mind, like, this is pretty situational. I think there's a good number of situations where Overheal is probably better. But Presence of Mind in lane seems pretty strong, considering a lot of AD carries burn through mana like it's nobody's business. In lane, there's like plenty of times, at least for the like if you're like a Lucian player, like an Ezreal player, maybe like a Xayah player, like pre-Reaver, Jhin sometimes too. It's just like after you kill someone, you just like don't have mana, and then you also get this off like leveling up, so you can level up and then just spam all your shit on them for 5 seconds, which is nice. So these two help you in lane. This one doesn't really help you that much in lane. I guess unless you're like full HP, like Doran's Blade co-healing in the early lane phase, but that's just like super, that's just super, I just don't think it's that useful. Legend. Alacrity, 3% attack speed plus additional 4.5% for every legend stack. towards legend stacks for every champion takedown. Epic monster takedown, large monster kill. Wow, that's a lot of attack speed. Oh, so this is like strength of the aegis for attack speed for junglers. Okay. Tenacity. Okay, so it's tenacity instead. Bloodline, gain 0.8% lifesteal for every legend. Wow. Whew. Whew, whew, whew. Well, I know which one's the worst. Probably Alacrity is better. So this is a really hard one. This is a really hard one because Alacrity is good in the early game, and then like once it's like it helps junglers who need attack speed in the early. I guess I don't know. Just helps anyone who needs attack speed and it scales decently. But the thing about Bloodline is, that's 8% lifesteal. 8% lifesteal plus I guess you'd have a Dorn's Blade that'd be like 11%, and then if you have like Warlords too, like you can easily forgo a lifesteal item with that. 11%, and then 8 after you sell your D-Blade, assumingly late game, and then Warlords. That's a lot of healing. You can maybe just skip a lifesteal item with that, which is pretty big. That opens up another slot for like either a defensive item, or like if your champion can't get double zeal normally, then you just get double zeal, which is really, really strong actually. Tenacity. The thing is, like, I don't think many bruisers are gonna want to opt into this tree. Like, you look at this other stuff, like, it doesn't really seem like a lot of like, I don't know, like Aurelia Jax. Like I guess like Jax could use some of these actually, but like it doesn't. I haven't seen all the trees yet, but I feel like most bruisers won't go this tree, and AD carries don't care that much about tenacity, because if you go like you're dead if you get hit by anything usually anyway. So like the tenacity is kind of worthless, and it's multiplicative. So what is this? Total 20% fully stacked. The thing about these is that they're all pretty. They seem pretty easy to stack, especially for junglers. So none of them are bad. Like this seems just like a really strong branch overall. Combat. What the fuck? Deal 10% more damage. Champion takedowns. Alright. This is okay. It's nothing to write home about. Alright. So what was this Preseason? Alright. Next up. I got fucking debated, dude. Sorcery. One more after this. Sorcery, empowered abilities. Sorcery plus precision plus 15. Sorcery, so okay, so 15. What the heck? Wait, so this gives 11 or 18, and this gives 15 or 25. This is just strictly, this just gives more stats than the other one. So did they nerf the things in here compared to what? Am I missing something? Alright, whatever. Summon Aerie. Send out again until she returns to you. What's the cooldown? Like, does it just return to me after I'm done? Like, wait, so I get it for shields, right? So I'm assuming as soon as the shield pops or times out, it comes back to me. But how does that work for spells, right? If I'm Gangplank, do I just shoot him and then it just like comes back to me immediately after hitting? Because it's not a dot. So like theoretically, could I just play like Gangplank or Pantheon, like just shoot people, hit people with Q over and over, and then every single time I hit him with Q, I'm just doing bonus damage? Like what the? If that's how it works, it seems hella busted. Arcane Comet. Damaging an opponent with an ability hurls a comet at their location, or if Arcane Comet's on cooldown, reduces its remaining cooldown. 30 to 100 damage, 20 to 8 second cooldown, reduced per hit. Single target. Okay, so that's a cooldown reduction. Hurls a comet. Is this dodgeable? Is this targeted? This literally just looks like this thing, except doesn't work on shields and does more damage. I don't like this tree already. Phase Rush. Hitting an enemy with 3 attacks or 3 separate abilities gains movement speed. Okay, so this is the Storm Raider substitute. This seems really hard. 3-second duration. I mean, based on what I know, this seems to be the order. So Phase Rush isn't bad, it's just not better than these. Because I'm assuming, like, this one has a cooldown, but this one doesn't. They haven't listed a cooldown on this one, so I'm assuming it doesn't have a cooldown, which means it's ridiculous. Like, this is so big. Like, when does she return to me? Like, if this thing has a long-ass return time, then this thing just seems strictly better, even with a cooldown. But, this seems to be, like, more consistent, like, Thunder. Like, these are, like, Thunderlord substitutes that are, like, you get it every time. So, like, for champions that single poke more than 3-hit poke, just, like, the poke is, like, less damage. So these are, I don't really like these. I think they're kind of, I'm just not a big fan. Maybe it's just the wording. Not in the sense that I don't think they're good. It's just like I don't really like the way they're put in. Nullifying Orb. When you take magic damage, it reduces your health below. Okay. Mana Flow Band. Your next ability used hits its manages. Okay. The Ultimate Hat. Your ultimate's cooldown is reduced by 5%. Each time you cast your ultimate, its cooldown is further reduced by 2%. Huh. Stacks up to 5 times. So you get 15% ult cooldown. That sounds really disgusting on some champions and sounds really useless on some others. Wow, this tree looks really bad. Okay, so let's explain this. So Nullifying Orb just seems useless. It's only for magic damage, and it's not a big shield, and it's only when you're about to die, and it's got a cooldown. That's pretty long, so no. Mana Flow Band, really nice in lane, really useless later. Ultimate Hat, potential to be useful the entire game, depending on your champion. Potential to just be completely useless. So basically your champion will probably be picking between these two, and if you're a pussy, you'll take this. But none of these seem like... Well, Ultimate Hat seems really good in some situations, but the other ones are kind of meh. Mana Flow Ban will really help champions who struggle in lane with mana. But it's still kind of worthless later for the most part, assuming you're getting blue buffs. Excellence. 10% CDR when you reach level 10. Each percent of CDR can... this kind of sucks. Celerity. Gain 4% increased move speed. Add 8% of your bonus move speed to your AP or AD. Hecarim. Lol. Well above 70% health gain. Whoa. That's interesting. There's another like super situational one based on your champ. This is probably the most consistent. This is solid, and this is kind of worthless on most champs. So Celerity is worthless if you don't have a movement speed buff. Transcendence is good. The second part of Transcendence is worthless. But yeah, it's still pretty worthless. The second part of Transcendence is pretty worthless, but the first part is solid. The problem is for supports, you actually reach level 10 pretty late usually because of the lack of EXP. So it's not super useful on them, and they overcap, and they don't care about the shit from overcapping as much. This is really just to like compensate for CDR runes going away, I guess. So if you're a champion who really needs this, then it's good for you. Because if you're taking this tree as like as a tank or anyone who wants CDR, most of these will probably be these other two are probably worthless to you anyway. But Absolute Focus is probably the most consistent. Especially if you have Sustain. I'm actually gonna change my mind. I think fuck. Nah, I still think Absolute Focus is more consistent, but it's really close to Transcendence. Power. It's hot. Your next ability sets champions on fire based on... Okay, so more burn. Seems like there's going to be a lot of annoying-ass burns in lane. Jesus. Water walking. 25 movement speed. Adapted bonus up to 18 in the river. Every 10 minutes. Gain. Holy shit! What the hell? 100 AD in a 60-minute game. Alright, well. Yeah. Numbers are nice, but that shit still sucks. Gathering Storm just takes too long. Most games are decided anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes. And 30 AD bonus. At 30 minutes, it starts to be pretty good. But that's already pretty late into the game. And it's been like kind of worthless for you up until then. So it really looks nice late game, but like unless you make it there, it's like, eh. Water walking, this helps you for every Baron fight and every Dragon fight and every like skirmish in the like from the jungle that moves to the river. And the movement speed helps you roam. It's flat in the river, so it's really nice. And Scorch is just super annoying in lane, it seems. Even with the cooldown, it's just even more poke damage. So if you're a champion that has any sort of spell harass, that shit will be really annoying. It's like the anti-feast. Yeah, so that is Sorcery. And last tree. Inspiration. For the right comp, nah. You should never pick a comp and then just like, yeah, we have a Gathering Storm comp. Like, nah. Inspiration, Keystone. It's just like you should never be playing to loot to have to go late anyway. But we'll see what happens. I need to look at all the champion changes to have a good idea. So let's see. Okay, so Keystones. Wait, what is this? 20% potion. Interesting. Okay, so it's potion elixir duration for everything. So this is... So inspiration gives you better bonuses. Okay. So off the bat, it's giving you more stats. Unsealed Spellbook. Gain a Summoner Shard at 2 minutes and another every 6 minutes. Max 2. Okay, so you just... Okay, so at 8 minutes you just... Oh, what the hell? What the hell? Buying Smite won't give you Smite items. Oh, feels bad. Count up two of the same. Interesting. Interesting. Glacial Augment. Basic attacking a champion slows. Slow increases over duration. Okay. Slowing a champion with active item shoots a freeze ray through them, freezing the nearby... What the? Oh, nani? Kleptomancy. After using the ability, your next attack, a champion grants bonus gold. There's a chance you also gain a consumable. That's a meme. 7 to 4 seconds per unit. This is interesting. Well, this one's definitely the best. Huh. I don't know how much this gold is, nor the chance of a consumable. I guess if the chance of a consumable is pretty high, it wouldn't be bad. Gives you bonus gold. Alright, without knowing the numbers, I'll probably put Kleptomancy second. Seems kind of like Bandit. Definitely skewed towards range champs though, because you have to hit an ability and an attack. I mean, I guess it could work in melee versus melee top lane and stuff too. Pretty worthless for junglers. So the thing about Unsealed Spellbook is I don't see that many reasons where you go into a game with a summoner and then be like, I don't want this anymore. The only real thing is like cleanse. So situationally, I can see it being okay, but like so like you take heal for early game or something, or like anything, then you switch it for ghost and then like cleanse. But overall, it doesn't seem like it'll have that many applications, even though it sounds really interesting. Hextech Flash Traption. While Flash is on cooldown, it's replaced by Hex Flash. Time for 2 seconds to blink to a new location. Channel 20 seconds goes on a 10-second cooldown when you enter champion combat. Biscuit delivery. You need a total biscuit of everlasting well every 3 minutes until 12 minutes. Biscuits restore consuming any biscuit. What the fuck? That mana restore. Okay. Perfect timing. Start the game with a commencing stopwatch that transforms into a stopwatch after 6 minutes. Stopwatch has a one-time use stasis effect. Huh. Huh. This is another hard one. Damn. This is a really hard one. I think I'll actually have to put... Fuck, this is actually really hard. Well, I think I'll do this. And then... I think this is the best. And then this. Okay, so hashtag Flash Traption. It can set up aggressive plays if you channel it, like, and use it like when your jungler is coming to gank. It's not as good defensively. If you have good wards, you'll see things coming, and you can still use it to escape though. So I just feel like overall it's probably the most useful. Biscuit delivery is solid. That's a lot of healing, and it seems like it's instant healing too. But the chance that you'll always get it, like, I guess if you see the ticker, you can like kind of play around, like, okay, I'm gonna stay in lane because my biscuit's coming soon. If it takes an inventory slot though, that might suck. But it does increase your mana cap. What to say? And perfect timing. The thing is, I don't think stasis will actually help you that much. So things, you don't get anything for 6 minutes because you're not gonna have any of these items at 6 minutes. And then I'm assuming stopwatch builds into these items now, I think. Kind of hard to say without more information about like how, like, what stopwatch even is. I think it's building into these items, or at least Sonya's. I think I saw that somewhere. But like, you don't need stasis at 6 minutes usually. If you're in a position where you need stasis at 6 minutes, I feel like you kind of fucked up anyway. And I guess it's kind of nice to have the stasis until you finish your item. But I don't know. The 15% cooldown on Guardian Angel is really nice though. So perfect timing could easily be better than biscuit delivery. I think it's really close. Tomorrow, magical footwear. You get free slightly magical boots at 10 minutes, but you cannot buy boots before then. That's terrible. Each takedown, you acquire the boots 30 seconds sooner. It's a little better. Slightly magical boots give you an additional 10 movement speed upgrade for 50 gold less. Futures market. You can enter debt to buy items. The amount you borrow increases over time. Debt doesn't turn available until 2 minutes. Debt limit 150 plus 5 per minute. Lending fee 50 gold. 5 a minute. That's not very good. Minion dematerializer that can absorb light minions instantly into dematerializers. Absorbing a minion increases your damage by 4% against that type of minion permanently, plus an extra 1% for each additional minion of that type absorbed. Alright, well, this one seems pretty easy for me. Okay, so the cons of magical footwear don't outweigh the benefits. Sometimes you just back with enough gold that you can only buy boots, but if it doesn't even let you buy boots to get back to lane, that sucks. And you never want something that hinders you. Granted, it gives you the free shit, but like you're only saving 300 gold, and you don't get to buy boots the first 10 minutes, and then the bonus isn't that much. Futures market just isn't enough money, and you have a lending fee too. The good thing about this is that you can buy like extra controls and still get your item early game. Like say you really need like an extra longsword, or you really need extra smite, like you extra gold for like your smite item or something, or anything, or like consumables, whatever. Basically, this thing will almost always let you buy consumables, which is strong. The thing about this minion materializer is that it's basically a free base at any time. So let's say you're or something, and you need to push a wave or like anything, you just or like really it's basically a free wave clear, a free one wave clear, and then you do bonus damage the rest of the game for wave clearing, which is nutty. Like it's just so useful. Beyond. Huh. Huh. Okay. Approach velocity. Gain 10% movement speed that are movement impaired or enemy champions that you impair. 100 permanent health. Alright, well that's easy. Hundred 100 health is not worth a 10% damage loss. Especially because it's to monsters too. So junglers can't take this. That's a lot of damage. 10% movement speed towards. Like, I don't think this is great, but this just seems like harmful. So yeah, this one's pretty easy. Cosmic Insight seems really good. So that is inspiration. So looking back at all of these, what I think is the best. So these two, these two, Arcane Comet and Summon Airy, seem really interesting. I need to see Summon Airy in effect because of like the cooldown thing. Like it doesn't actually tell me the fucking cooldown, but it seems really annoying, and like Scorch seems really good, and just overall it seems like this has the least useless things. Overall. How I would tier these overall though, like let's see. Domination and Precision both seem pretty good. Resolve seems pretty, like they all seem pretty good. Like I can't really say like which one is strictly better than the others. It's obviously like geared towards specific roles, each of them. I will say there's a lot of interesting things in here, but I feel like at least for a primary, this isn't very good. I feel like there's more of a just like if nothing else fits your champion, you just go for this because like there's a lot of like glacial augments and like what should I call it? Cosmic Insight and like minion materializer and like Hextech. Like none of these seem bad. None of these seem bad. So this seems like the I guess like the like jack of all trades kind of tree, I'd say. Oh boy. Now we get into champs. Alright. Base armor up, base AD up, blood price, damage up. Okay. Some nice little buff to Aatrox. Okay. Okay. Whoa, that's a lot of armor. That is a lot of armor. Okay. Jesus. Okay, the game will be attack speed. Yeah, just stat ups for everyone. Nothing to see here. Base armor for Bard up. Okay. Okay, so all the melee champions seem to be going up to like a bunch of armor. And base bonus armor for this shit's going up too. Okay. Big buff to Braum. Health. Base AD up. Okay. And, okay, just straight buff to Camille. Interesting. I don't feel like Camille really needed a buff, but, Camille players will definitely appreciate this. This is just base stats. Oh, AD on Cho'Gath up. Okay. Base AD up. Base health up. Health growth stat up. Boss bomb damage. Okay. Above the quirky. Okay. Okay, they gave Dr. Mendo attack speed. Definitely needed. Wow, that's a lot of base armor for Draven. And, oh, base damage on the spinning axe. And stand aside. And AD. Okay. Echo. Elise. Evelyn. Dash from Demon Shade. Okay, that's actually a huge buff. Only champion damage now, and 1.5 second cooldown instead of 4. That's a really big buff to Evelyn. Arcane Shift base damage up. Okay. Fiddlesticks. Dual stand. Oh god, another Fiora buff. Champion's already a bit spooky in solo queue. Yayo, Gangplank. Jesus. Even more damage on that. Gangplank seems like he's gonna benefit a lot from a lot of these annoying ass runes. And he's getting more bonus damage on his passive, plus that burn mastery. Gangplank's gonna be hella annoying, it seems. Base. Oh, I didn't know his Mega and Mini had different stats. Graves. Nice. Extra 10 damage. Still not very good. Oh, extra base damage on the Headcrab too. Interesting. Headcrab seems like he'll have a lot of interesting keystones. Okay. Base changes. Wait, they buffed Jarvan Q damage. I'm down. Definitely down. Oh, nice. Finally, all it took was everyone losing armor runes for Jarvan to finally get base armor that isn't trash. Thank you, Rito. Damage up on Jax. Interesting. Finally, a lot of my champions I play are getting buffed. Increased from... So it doesn't seem like there's like any nerfs I've seen yet. They've all been buffs for damage spells. Like, I know they were gonna buff everyone's base. Wow, she had 19 armor. I knew they were gonna buff everyone's like base stats, but like, I thought they'd nerf some champions too. I guess they didn't want to nerf anyone with the rune changes. Kind of see how everything shakes out first. It's free bonus damage on Kha'Zix. You'll really appreciate that. Q is super spammed. Okay, base stat changes. Okay, these are all very, very minor though. All like five or so damage each. Wow, buffing everything on Kled. I get, oh, and they, yeah, interesting. I was thinking like, are they not buffing his base AD compensation or something? But no, they are just buffing all of his damage too. Interesting. I don't think Kled's in necessarily a bad spot right now either. Okay, let's see. Lee Sin damage up. Okay, I can dig 10 on E and two 5s on the Qs. All right, I dig it. Leona, base armor on this shit up. Holy god, Leona's a tank. Piercing light. Yeah, the real winners are the melee champs like this, who are getting more base armor than they had from runes anyway. But I guess they don't get AD in compensation. That kind of sucks. Rip Fervor Leona. Lucian definitely needed base damage buff. Malphite gets attack speed. Okay. Mordekaiser. Maokai gets attack speed. So a lot of the tanks are getting it. Nice. Nautilus definitely needs it. Didn't give it to Nasus. Interesting. Would seem pretty broken, I have to admit. Okay, Nocturne buffs. Nunu. God, fuck Nunu. Olaf. Oh god, 10 Q damage. That's a lot. And his base AD went up too. So basically, any base AD increase of more than 8.5 is pretty solid, because that's what most people ran in runes. For certain champions though, like Olaf, who didn't run attack speed, that's a small nerf. Oh god, why would you do this? Why? Holy shit, why? Oh fuck, dude. Not looking forward to that. Okay. Okay, Rammus got attack speed. That's nice. Oh, these are all pretty nice. Because Q spammed, W spammed, E is true damage, so any bonus damage. Oh, that's nice. Both parts of E and Q. Interesting. Rengar. Renekton did kind of disappear, so I guess I'm not too surprised. Why? 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 God damn it. Shaco. Okay, you can dig it. Gave Shen attack speed. Didn't give Shyvana. Didn't give Singed. Ah, Singed did not get a lot of armor. Thank God, though. Fuck that champ. Wow, Sion's armor was so low. I never knew. Sivir. Talia. Kalkench. Base armor. Base AD. So all the people who never went armor, who never went HP per level on mages anyway, are probably so happy right now. It's like, oh, free HP. Granted, you don't get armor anymore, but like, I mean, you shouldn't have been running armor anyway. So for those people who are still running armor seals on mages every game, it's just good buff for them. 80 assassins though, and like assassins in general seem to get a big buff from this because people can't do specialized rune pages against them anymore, where it's just like you run like armor glyphs and armor seals and armor marks, and then just like your main stat on like quints or something. Or instead like armor like MR blues and MR quints against like LeBlanc or something. Like, you can't do that anymore. So I feel like assassins overall against smart players are buffed. Oh god, no. Why would you take this champ to even more damage? That's a lot of armor. Someone who scales off armor. And bravado base damage up. Wow, Target's gonna hurt. Okay, that's nice. The base damage on that shit is really low. So Tristana, yeah. I'm not a huge fan of Tristana, but that E level 1 is a wimpy ass spell. Junior mains. Too far on Q. Okay. Don't really feel like you need a nerf Urgot, but it's not a huge nerf, I guess. Nice buff to Varus, his main poke spell. Whatever, Vayne sucks. Vault Breaker, minimum and maximum. Okay, nice little buff for 5 players. Champion split pushing isn't split pushing fast enough. Interesting. Yorick doesn't really use like anything that seems like particularly well, so he might go for that like mastery that lets you just like nuke turrets. Oh, Q affects turrets. Jesus, that's a pretty big buff. Wow, they gave Yasuo everything. Interesting. Okay, damage per strike. Okay. Hey, Wukong. Oh, Zach got attack speed. Okay. Didn't give it to Warwick or Volibear. I guess they don't need it as much. Yeah, definitely needed for Zed. Kind of interesting. Like I feel like buffing assassins might be a little sketch because everyone is losing. Like, granted, everyone has more base armor, but they don't get to run like bonus armor. Like, they don't get like. Well, I'm not really sure. I guess I'd have to see like how much of the player base actually has a specialized page to like, yeah, this is against Zed and Yasuo and like 80 assassins and shit. Rather than like the people who just like didn't run armor at all against those champions and just had one page only for AP champions or mids, and it only had like HP per level. So it might overall be a nerf to assassins. Who knows? I guess like there are some people who just didn't have runes either. So like I guess overall it's a buff to those two. So I guess maybe assassins are overall nerfed. Who knows? It's really hard to say. Oh no, a bandit, that's fine. Killing a minion with spoils of war heals for 2% of missing health in addition to the flat heal. Okay, that's a good change. Right now it's really wimpy, the Targon sustain. Gold. Okay, damage up. We'll promote more activity in lane, remove the 10%, but we guarantee it is there. Okay. Cost reduced, cooldown between camps taken, they need 4. So yeah, this item is like for junglers. Like, it's good situationally. The problem with Poacher's Dirk is that, thanks for the follow, Rafikix. The problem with Poacher's Dirk is not everyone wants a serrated Dirk in the jungle. Basically only like assassins. And the gold you put into this is delaying your warrior. So it's not always a good item. But it's a usable item now. How below your team? Okay. That kind of sucks. I didn't think takedown EXP was that big of a problem. It really helped rubber band like people who late DC back into the game. But interesting. This will hurt supports a bit too. There's the snowball teams already had. Okay, I guess that makes sense because teams average rather than like average in the game. I don't know why they didn't just change this to average in the game to balance it, but okay, Riot Games. GXP per level behind, only on large and epics. Okay, so instead of 150 or 180 catch-up XP for Raptors, now it's only 50. Same with Krugs. But it's a buff for Gromp. It's a buff for catch-up on Gromp. Okay. First clear experience reduction no longer applies to Wolf Camp or small Razor Beaks. So you can hit level 2 starting at Wolves. Gromp first clear experience reduction. Oh, that sucks. Red Brambleback, Blue Sentinel. All camps are now with 4 monsters. Terrible change. These are fine. Why would they do this, though? I don't like this Gromp change. I think this Gromp change sucks dick. I think this tracking change sucks dick. You should still hit level 2 on these, right? As long as you still hit level 2 on the big buffs, it's fine. If you do them at level 1. The catch-up XP change is fine. I think, like, so, good change, good change, good change, bad change, should be okay, bad change. Extra damage to minions. Removal masters that brought PvE damage to the table. Feel really weak. Okay, that's good. Don't remove last hitting, but make it a little bit easier with loss of some things. With the loss of savagery, mainly. A lot of waiting around at the start of the game. Game start 1 minute and 10. Gotta make invades harder, even harder now. I don't really like this. I never really liked what they did to make it to 120 either. But it's not a huge deal for most of the game. Okay, uncapped leveling, IP, level 1 to 30, changes to boosts. Okay. No more IP boosts. Interesting. And Ascension. Runes reforged. Okay. Skin bug fixes. And that is the patch. Okay. So interesting. I'm not really, I don't feel one way or another about the rune changes. They're just kind of like, I think overall it'll be a good thing. I don't like change, but I'll get over it. They look really, they look pretty interesting. So I am decently excited, cautiously optimistic to get into those. I'm sure there'll be a bunch of broken ass shit in the preseason that people haven't figured out yet. I'm excited to get into playing it on stream. I think the level uncapped thing is pretty cool. The shortening 1 to 30 is cool. IP Blue Essence, no real thoughts on that. Champ Select's fine. I don't like the increased game speed. I don't like the jungle changes overall, just because you're moving. Like, I really just don't like the Gromp change, and I don't like the tracking change. I don't feel like either of them were necessary. So that's that. Like the base stat changes are fine. I think the item changes are fine. Like buffing up Targons and Spell Thieves a bit so coin isn't as attractive is good. Making Poacher's Dirk a real item is nice. And none of the champion balance changes were anything too significant. Like they were just like 5-10 damage on the places they were. So I think those are all overall fine. Even if some of the buffs were to champions, I don't really think needed them. So yeah, we'll see. We will see. I'll run through the things one more time, just so everyone can see. What am I missing? Domination, Precision, Sorcery, Inspiration. What's the last one? Resolve? Resolve. Alright, so let's do this. Okay. Oh, I made it like too small. Alright, so Precision, I feel like Lethal Tempo, Fleet Footwork, Press the Attack, Heroism, Triumph, Presence of Mind, over Heal, Alacrity, Bloodline, Tenacity, and then there's only one thing for combat. Domination, Electrocute, Predator is situationally the best, that's what I said. Dark Harvest is overall a third. Sudden Impact, Taste of Blood, Cheap Shot, Zombie Ward, Ghost Poro, Eyeball Collector. Eyeball Collector might be the worst mastery in this whole thing. Ravenous Hunter, Ingenious Hunter, Relentless. Remember this was the spell vamp one, technical spell vamp, so this one's just the best. Sorcery. Once again, I need to see the cooldown on Airy, Arcane Comet. Like I feel like Airy and Comet are like kind of like too close to each other. That's why I don't really like them. Phase Rush. I'm not even. What was Phase Rush? Oh, Storm Rider Surge. Ultimate hats, like CDR old thing, mana flow, good situationally. Nullifying Orb sucks. Absolute focus, transcendent celerity. Transcendent celerity, yeah. Scorch seems really, really good. Water walking, gathering storm. Very situational. Inspiration, the glacial augment seems really, really good. Klepto, I have to see the gold it gives, but doesn't seem too amazing. Unsealed Spellbook, super situational. Only ever on like champions where like you need like heal to survive lane or something, but you need cleanse later in the game. Maybe good for AD carries who almost always I'd say prefer cleanse over heal in the late game. Hextech Flash contraption, very interesting. Perfect timing and biscuit delivery, both very situationally good, but probably still less overall than Hextech Flash. Minion Dematerializer, very, very, never really bad. Futures Market, interesting, always will get you consumables, which is nice, but you pay extra for them. Magical Footwear, seems kind of useless. Cosmic Insight, Approach Velocity, Celestial Body. Cosmic Insight just seemed like the best, the rest of these seem like kind of trash. Resolve, Keystones, Grasp, just seems the most consistent. Aftershock doesn't seem bad. Guardian, very odd wording. Feels like it's kind of bad. Unflinching, Demolish, Font of Life. It's just these are both more overall useful than this, which is basically just Bond of Stone or whatever it's called right now, Stoneborn Pact, which is not usually very useful. Iron Skin. This is armor versus MR versus getting stats later, but like early game is just more important, so conditioning is not useful. Revitalize, Second Wind, Overgrowth. What was this? Oh yeah, Overgrowth just takes way too long. Revitalize is usually more overall useful, and Second Wind just seems like a broken ass Dorn Shield. I think Second Wind is probably the best. What was I thinking? If this works how I think it is, where it's only like a 10-second thing, a 10-second cooldown because it heals you over 10 seconds, then this is probably the best, because it's just like, imagine this shit with Dorn Shield, man. My god. So yeah, that's it for the patch. There's no Zoe things here, so I'm not gonna look at it. I don't really like looking at champion teasers until they're. I'll look at champions in once they're in like the patch rundown itself, like the patch notes itself. But right now, she's not in, so I don't really want to go looking for her, especially because this patch rundown is already so long. So that's the patch.